just a primer on what's gone on so far. So a couple of years ago now, I did a first video review of the Husk knives that were everywhere. And in my review, I sort of unsurprisingly found out that they were skeezy garbage with like bad steel or not even a proper steel, like a metal at best. And they have like a dodgy website that just feels weird. They're not made in Japan, all sorts of things. And so my first video got to about 500,000 views, and then it was taken down by Husk for defamation. And whilst I could definitely have argued that a review is not defamation if the statements are based on tests and facts and opinions, and that, far bigger companies like, say, Disney get far more unfair and unfounded things said about their products to far greater effect, possibly even. Rather than doing all that, I just sort of let it go and filmed a few more reviews where I was a bit more careful perhaps with my language. They all went fine until they took another one of my videos down because I had a link to the exact same knife on Alibaba. And I was more just doing that to show that, yes, these knives are everywhere else on the internet too, and Husk seem to be just putting them in nice boxes. So that one got taken down as well. And then I've done a couple of others since. It's a bit of an ongoing thing. But I've had about 8 Husk knives across my desk, and until this video, they've all been the same one. These two that show up today are the new Husk knife, and we will just see how they go. Strap in. It's going to be interesting. Package, Bricky. Package. Let us see what we have here. It is from the town of Yuen Long, Hong Kong. Via the Netherlands. Martin, this is you. Let's see what this alliance of the Dutch and the Hong Kong constituency have for me today. It is indeed a... Oh! It's a Husk knife. And if I'm not mistaken, a second Husk knife. Well, not to worry, Bricky, this will be quite easy to sort out. Husk breaker to me! Yes, this will do it. Just a quick smash with the Husk breaker should definitely get things sorted to where they need to be.
Hold on. I heard tell of a new version of the Husk knife. You should probably check to see how cancerous this version is before you blindly smite it.
Well, you may have a point, young Bricado. Let's see what the wizards at Husk Japan have cooked up for us this time. Some slightly different packaging. We have created the most exceptional kitchen knife the world has ever seen. A box full of hyperbole, perhaps. What are they saying on the back there? Ooh! We've had a steel upgrade. Have they listened? What used to be 1810 stainless, a widely known pot metal, has been upgraded rather severely, rather dramatically to 420J2. So that is the steel that you generally use when you clad a real blade core steel. So you put the 420J2 on either side of a proper blade steel like VG10. However, I must admit, it is definitely at least 100% upgrade in that they've moved from a metal to a steel. So, you know what? Maybe in another 10 years' time, they'll be using 8CR13 MOV. Who knows? And they might actually have a half normal blade on their hands. So the 420J2, we will have a comparison point. Blacksmith heritage at our fingertips. All those blacksmiths out there that use 420J2 are represented here today. And, there is a disturbance in the Husk force. That is a different looking Husk indeed. It is entirely different, you could say. They have revamped the Husk, remodeled the Husk, changed the Husk. Let's have a look. This is very curious. It appears that some of the critiques that I have had of this knife have been in perhaps some kind of clumsy way rectified. And that is a second new husk knife right there. Haven't changed the box really, just 138 steps over 2 months to make one of these, which, you know, I guess is true, given that we're, you know, about 138 steps ago for me, I was probably made of, you know, just core elements in my dad's ball sack. So, you know, fair enough, that may be technically true. Let's have a look at these new husk knives and let's compare them to, I guess, the old husk knives. So there are actually a fair few points of difference. This is a circa 2022 and earlier husk knife, basically a direct copy of the Viking knife template that was kicking around the internet, around Wish.com, around Alibaba for a long time. This is a little bit different looking, as you can see. There are certainly some changes. The handle is less banana-like. It is also a lot lighter. The whole knife is lighter, feels nimbler in the hand. It is definitely a thinner blade. So the blade is about, I would say, almost half the thickness of the original husk knife, and it is slightly longer as well. The sort of ending of the handles, they've still got the sort of hanging or lanyard or pommel holes there, but the new husk has a, you know, elongated, squared off sort of tapered tang. Both are, of course, still full tang knives. The new husk has some jimps on the back there, and it has sort of this finger catching point here, which is feels a bit jaggy, feels a bit like I'm going to be constantly bumping my finger on that, because it's not it's slightly sharp. It's not like a razor sharp, but it is slightly sharp there, that little finger notch there. The black sort of blacksmith finishing paint is definitely shinier and quite sort of just glazed on. You can see it's got a glazy sort of sheen to it, like a shine to it, rather than this sort of looked a bit more authentic, even though it is just like a, you know, a spalted, you know, treatment that they do on the surface of the blade. This definitely looks a bit more like a paint. I'm not sure if it's a paint or if it is like a treatment or an etching or whatever, but definitely made to look like the knife has been hammered by a blacksmith. It hasn't. I'm 100% sure it hasn't. But yeah, so that is quite interesting. You remember I have many criticisms of this knife and this brand, but my original criticisms were very much that they were making it with a pot metal, which now I can say they're not making it with a pot metal. They're making it with a very bad blade steel, but it's definitely not a pot metal, and it's actually 420J2 is a steel. So that's something. And then they have thinned out the stock a whole lot whilst keeping the hollow grind, which is now nowhere near as sort of scoopy as the original one. They had to really make it a very acute hollow grind to have it cut at all. Whereas because the blade stock is thinner on these new husks, they don't need to be as dramatic with their blade finish. So these took a month to get here. You can see on the packaging here, they were dispatched on the 23rd of August 2023. So it's exactly a month ago, pretty much. The last husks usually arrive quite quickly, and these have come from, as I said, they come from the Netherlands, which is a bit strange. And I ordered them in a different name because just kind of paranoid, just in case they have me on a flag or something. I didn't want them to send me like a really good one or something like that, or one that they didn't have. One that didn't have, because the one I got from Dan, which was this one, has all these gaps in the handle and needed all this wood, has all this wood filler sort of holding it together. So these two here, this wounds me to say it, but I will say it because it is true. These are better husks than ever. These are actually, you know what? They actually feel like knives rather than like props, which is, this always just felt like a prop. This feels like a knife. It's probably still a bad knife. I mean, it may be. I'm going to test it. I'm going to test how long the steel lasts. I'm going to cut with it. I'm going to do some things with it, but they're definitely improved. And it, you know, I don't love this company, and it hurts me to say that. There's still lots of things about the company that I don't love, which I'll re-go over in this film, of course. But give these blades a clean slate. It's what I'm here to do as a reviewer. And let's just see how they go. Have a quick look at what this covering is. I'll just put a little bit of paint stripper on there, let that sit. and we'll just see what that does to it. It may be like a DLC type finish, which will not come off with the paint remover, but we'll leave that for, you know, a little while and just see what it does, you know, because it does look a bit more painty than last time. But if it's not, then it's not. All right, so while the other knife gestates under some paint stripper and see what that does, let's see what this factory edge does. So we've got a crisp, fresh sheet of printer paper here. Let's see how it slices. Gotta say, well, there's one hiccup spot, sadly, right about where I would be testing. So I'll have to test down this end of the blade here, but that end of the blade is slicing through paper nicely. So we will do a quick rope cut test. 420J2, I've tested it before. Buck do some of their El Cheapo knives in 420J2. They have Spitfire and things like that. At least they did back when I was testing. Right, so, you know, you got to applaud them. Moving up to a steel, as I said, you know, tip of the hat to that. Very small tip of the hat for making your kitchen knife out of steel. Congratulations. But anyway, we'll see how it cuts on the rope. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. 25 times. Still slicing, we already have a record. A husk knife has cut 50 times through twisted sisal rope. I am somewhat impressed. A husk knife has cut 75 times through twisted sisal rope. The weight of that statement is really something unheard of on this channel. A husk knife has cut 100 times through twisted sisal rope, and it is still slicing through paper. I am shocked. A husk knife has cut 125 times through twisted sisal rope with J2 steel, and it is still slicing a held sheet of paper. This is actually not unimpressive, and this kills me to say it. Kills me to say it. All right, we have a dull spot at 150 times through twisted sisal rope. That is your standard kitchen knife steel. That is, the Victorinox will cut about the same, the Victorinox Ferox. So that is a proper basic, albeit basic, kitchen knife steel there with a thin geometry that is assisting in its cutting. Okay, I cannot in good conscience say that this is a terrible blade steel. It is a just fine blade steel. Some kind of finish, just kind of wiping off, but it's not bubbling off like a proper, just a blade paint. So don't know what it is, but definitely cosmetic in nature rather than the result of a hand-forged hammering process. All right, so in what I hope is going to be a demonstration of my supreme impartiality as a reviewer, I'm gonna have to say some positive things about this as an object. Aside from the brand, it is made of a steel. So for any other knife company, that would not be a compliment or a praise, and it's just the bare fucking minimum. But for Husk, making your knife out of a steel is worthy of an updo for sure. Like that's progress over making it out of pot metal. So good. And then they've made it thinner, and they've made the grind therefore cut a lot better. You see it cut a lot of rope because partially it's made of a steel, which is good. That's pretty basic steel, so that thin grind really did the knife a lot of favors moving through that sisal rope too. So you know what? As something that is going to cut, as immortalized by Doug, it will cut. And yeah, it will, do an okay job at cutting carrots and onions and all those sorts of things. No worse or better than an average kitchen knife. So, okay. I don't like a lot of things about the shape and the design even still. I think the guide, the control hole is stupid. This part back here has actually cut me a couple of times just moving, like navigating my hand around the knife. This is quite sort of jagged, it sticks out, it's no good. The handle is definitely better than the kind of big, fat, thick banana shape of the last husk. This is, something approaching a more normal handle, which is also okay. Still not a fan of the mottling or the texturing of this part here. I think for the simple appearance and the mystique of it looking. Does this even look Japanese? I don't think, it just looks like a complete fantasy thing to me, but for them wanting to look like it's a blacksmith finished 420 J2 knife, not worth the additional issues with cleaning and whatnot that having a rough finish on a kitchen knife does. But I would be disingenuous if I said that it isn't a complete improvement over the original husk knife. So there you go. But there's still a lot about this that is just stinky stuff, right? So for a start, you go to the website now, and they're not even, this one isn't even on there anymore. They're back to selling these. So if you still want this, as far as I can tell, you can't have it at the moment anyway. I don't know if it's just the cookies on the phone or whatever, but now you go to Husk again and they're just selling these, and it's the same configuration. So maybe they only had like a shipping container full of these, and then they're back to having like several warehouses full of these. I don't know. So yeah, that's a bit weird. The whole process of buying a Husk knife is akin to like those games that 9-year-olds whose parents just don't give a shit and let them have an iPad with everything on it. It feels like those games that they play with just like the shit just coming up and buy this currency, buy this, skin pack, buy, what about this? It's like a complete chaotic nightmare getting through the Husk website. And by the end of it, it feels like your email account has AIDS as well. It's just got, so many like spam, like Husk/this, Husk/that. Emails popping up in eventually straight into your spam filter, but initially it's a bit of a mess. They'll send you weird texts to your mobile phone number that you use. I actually ordered these ones under a completely different alias and name and everything because I was a bit paranoid. I'm like, what if they know that it's me? What if they've figured out? So I got it sent to a different address and everything. So I guess it's the most genuine ordering experience you can have. Certainly not knowing that I'm a reviewer or a person with an audience at all. So that's what I got. I got 2 of them and they both seemed about as good as each other. But yeah, I don't know, Husk, if moving to these was any part of you listening to me and my critiques about your fat, ugly, stupid, non-steel knife-like object first time, if any of those changes was because of that, then please let me give you some more suggestions. Drop the whole Japan thing. You're still saying authentic Japanese knives on your website. That's patently and blatantly untrue. Like it is, you don't need, that makes it sound like it is a knife that is made in Japan. You've told me yourselves that it's not, and they shipped from Hong Kong or the Netherlands or whatever. Like you need to stop that. All right, so to give you an idea of how some of this nonsense works, I'm just picking a random review from the Husk website. We'll just go down this rabbit hole. It's all this AI-generated garbage. So Emilio Endrizzi, who is apparently a head chef, endorses the Husk on the website, and then through like a bunch of weird sort of, support satellite websites that all just read like they're written by robots. And then, so you grab Emilio and you delve a bit deeper into him, and then you go through a second site and you can actually find a little picture of Emilio. And then you do a Google image search and find the source of that image, and you actually find out that You mean to say Emilio and Drizzy head chef is also John H, the handyman? Devastating, I know. I know that you're probably selling the knives to people who are just going to click through a couple of Instagram ads, buy it, probably in the middle of the night when they're maybe like half asleep, and then forget they've bought it, and then it'll show up a month later and they'll go, oh, all right. And that, I know that's probably your main audience, but I would suggest just selling these as the Husk knife, not as the Husk Japan knife, because we all know that these are about as Japanese as I am. And apart from liking a bit of the content myself, I make no claims that I am Japanese, because if I did, I would be lying. So that's the main reason to still avoid this company and these knives. It's just all very disingenuous, and frankly, I wouldn't even guarantee you know what you're going to get when you order it. Because as I said, these just came to me when I ordered new Husk knives, and now they're back to having these on the site. So, is the best I can give you about that. So yeah, still, if I'm looking at it like on a scale with like destroy on site through to like definitely buy, Husk, this knife is not any longer a destroy on site. It is definitely still a don't buy, but whereas this one here is an absolute just wretched thing that has nothing good going for it at all. This would basically only function as a poop knife. You've all read the post, I'm sure. This would function as the poop knife for your house maybe, and that's about it. Whereas this, it could actually be used pretty competently, as a tool in your kitchen. Not my preferred one ever, and it's certainly got a certain garishness to it that you might love or loathe, whatever, but this will actually function. So definitely don't destroy it on site, but also don't buy it either. There are so many things you can buy for about the same price. You want something about this length, get the Mora petty knife. The Mora petty knife is about the same price, made of better steel, again, doesn't have all this wacky shit all over it, and it'll just do a good, honest job of being a great little kitchen companion. So that would be my suggestion. If you got $40 to burn on this, think about it twice and check into a proper knife shop, not some schizophrenic internet cesspit, and get yourself a proper, good kitchen knife from a reputable brand. That's the current Husk situation. Probably more videos to come. Not quite worthy of an absolute, rotten thumbs down, because the object itself is somewhat competent. Can't believe I'm going to say that, but given that, all the nonsense that goes on behind this knife, and given that you can't even currently find them, and given you still have to go through about a 19-step process to get one in through your cart, I would say it's definitely still warranting the bin. All right, let's go on another identity quest. Let's track down Bernard Descouteur, who is on the Husk website. Well, it's difficult to know because you search him, well, on the Husk website, it strongly indicates that this trendy looking chap here may be Bernard. But then when you do a name search, you actually find out that Bernard Descouteur is most likely this man from a sort of a more janky, sort of similar looking Husk site. Anyway, we'll go to google.com, a great resource for finding things, and we'll grab that photo of Bernard and we will check it out. We'll see how, we'll see where that image, where Bernard, we might be able to find what restaurant he's from. That'd be something, wouldn't it? Do you think we're going to find Bernard's restaurant? You know what? I'm cautiously optimistic. So let's pop Bernard in there. And oh goodness me, he's prolific. Look at this one here. What's he doing here? He's holding a very similar pose he's got there to oh goodness. Oh, the picture's gone on this Amazon.com website. back to the image search. So it looks like he's been known to hold knives in very similar poses for other companies as well as this one here. And interestingly, this is the knife that even on the Husk website, the other lady, chef lady, is holding this knife on the Husk website. So that's confusing. Which one are they selling? Let's just do more of a general look at Bernard there. Look at this one. This one here. They've put some specs on him and some onion goggles. Look at that. What are you doing there, Bernie? Got your goggles on. Very authentic use of goggles there. See, this is like the internet is just fucked. Like they almost need to get rid of internet 1 or whatever internet we're on and start again. It's all just tat garbage, isn't it? How horrible is it? If it's not Facebook with people, getting sucked into crypto scams or just NFTs or just this, it's just this sort of like, it's all kind of like, there'd be maybe 10% of this whole endeavor would have human hands across it at all. The rest is just kind of given into a big advertising machine and spits out this like, it's just horrible, isn't it? Just horrible. Look at, I don't know if this is even a real person or an AI generated person. Just look at his little face. Do you think he ever in life thought that he'd be on my video, having been a Husk and then a Majumbo or whatever it was spokesman, and now a goggle salesman, Do you reckon he ever envisioned himself here? I want to know you, Bernard. I want to know you.